Welcome to the Brad and Taylor Show. Today we have Kate Clemons.
You're listening to the Brad and Taylor Show, a podcast that inspires entrepreneurs to pursue their passions. We're sitting down with some of the best to learn how they got started and some lessons they learned along the way.
Hey, Kate.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course.
Yeah, for sure. Well, let's get this show started. Tell us a little bit about you, where you're located, and what do you do?
Okay, great. So I'm Kate Clemons, and I am a real estate agent here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I work for Berkshire Hathaway out of the Mount Lebanon office. You want a little about myself? Is that what you said?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Okay, great. I am 28 years old. I live with my boyfriend and our beautiful rescue dog. And let's see, you're going to find this out, but I've lived many lives. I do a lot of things and I really enjoy doing all of the things because I don't like to sit still. So I am a trained opera singer as well. I have 2 degrees in music. Yeah, I have 2 degrees in music and I'm not really using them at the moment, but that's okay. Life kind of ebbs and flows. So we'll see where it takes me. I also have a bread business with my boyfriend. We make wonderful sourdough bread and I sell it. And
nice. Yeah.
I don't know what else you would need to know right now.
That's perfect. So awesome.
That's a good start.
Yeah,
you wear many hats.
I like it.
I really do. I prefer to do that rather than just have one job that's maybe like the same every single day. And that's why I really like real estate, because it's not the same every day.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So true. So let's back it up a little bit. What did you want to do? What was the first thing you wanted to do when you were younger?
So honestly, I think I always wanted to be a singer. Apparently I was singing before I could really speak full sentences as a child. And one time one of my family members was like, that's like, she's good. She's singing on pitch. And my mom was like, okay, well, we should probably get her into this. So honestly, I had always wanted to be a singer growing up. Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
That's awesome. So how did you get into real estate? Like where did that fit in?
I know. What version do you want? I can give you long or short.
Well, give us a long one. We don't care.
Okay.
We want to know the details.
Okay, cool. So I am from upstate New York. And in like a very rural area. My boyfriend and I moved here to Pittsburgh in April of 2020. So like height of the pandemic and before we really knew what was going on with COVID. And when I moved here, honestly, real estate was not even on my wavelength. I wasn't really even thinking that was something that I might want to do. But with the pandemic, and I had done a lot of work in restaurants and food service, and it just kind of didn't feel right to go all the way back to it and be a waitress. It just, with COVID being unpredictable, it didn't seem like the right thing to do. And I knew some people that were real estate agents and I started thinking about it. And I was like, well, I could do this. I think I could do this. I love people. I love talking to people. I think I can sell stuff. So let's see what happens.
Yeah.
So I took the 2.5-week expedited licensing class. I don't know if I recommend it. It was a lot. I'm not going to lie to you. Normally people take about 6 months and I did it in 2.5 weeks. Passed my tests, got signed up with Berkshire Hathaway and got started. And I really found success this year in 2021 in the later half of this year. And now it just feels like so natural but it's so unpredictable and there's new stuff every day. So that's why I really love it. But yeah, that's kind of how I got started.
I like it. So did you start on a team or did you start solo? So how did you get those first clients and tell us about that?
So I started solo for a little bit, and I kind of worked with a couple of different people, trying out some different teams, and some just weren't for me until I found the Barb Baker team out of my office in Mount Lebanon with Berkshire Hathaway. Barb there's about 9 or 10 of us on the team, I think. And all of us combined have over 100 years of experience. Nice. I met Barb when I first became an agent. I started doing open houses for her. That's one of the main things that you do, when you first become an agent, is just do as many open houses as you can to try and find some clients. And Barb always had all the listings. So I would just text her and be like, hey, do you need an open house? Hey, do you need an open house? And she really liked that I was always like trying to, do business. So I joined her team in February of 2021. And the resources that we have are just, I mean, so irreplaceable. And the people that we have on the team are all irreplaceable. And just having support and having 9 different people that I can call if I have a question, it means the world. I mean, I've had my license for a year and a half or so, and I definitely know quite a bit now. I definitely feel like a real estate agent now, whereas like the first 6 months you don't. You just like really don't know what's going on. Am I right? So I definitely feel like a real estate agent now, but I apologize if you hear my dog. Yep. Hang on one second. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
No worries.
So anyway, so having, 9 different people that I can call at any time if I have a question is huge. I have a lot of different, backgrounds and experiences that I'm able to pull from. And that's just, like I said, totally irreplaceable.
Yeah, for sure. Did you get any advice maybe from any one of your team members or Barb herself who helped you out when you first started that maybe just stuck with you?
I mean, how many people say fake it till you make it? Like all of them? Or,
surprisingly, we haven't heard that one too often.
Oh my gosh, yes. I mean, fake it till you make it definitely is one. I don't know how much I really advise faking it until you make it, because in real estate, you really need to know.
Yes.
So you can fake it to someone, a client, and then in the behind the scenes, be making all these frantic phone calls trying to find the answer,
Exactly.
right? And that's kind of definitely a big thing that I have learned from Barb herself. She's just so cool and calm and collected, and she might not, necessarily feel that way, but her clients always trust her. And I like to think that mine feel the same way, that I'm taking care of them, because I like to say like, let me handle it. I got it. And then do the behind the scenes work of like,
right.
Oh my God, but fake it till you make it, definitely. And another thing is that nice cars are overrated, is what Barb Baker told me, because, everyone always says realtors need, like, you have to have a fancy car. You have to have a nice car. And she's like, no, you just have to, like, they're not going to care if you have a nice car. You have to do like good business.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that's what matters, so it's nice to have that kind of perspective to in a mentor, rather than, someone who's really focused on image.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
What is the worst property or showing you've been to?
Okay, I saw that question and I was very excited to answer this.
Yay.
So, well, it was October 2020, and someone sent me a link. A client of mine sent me a link for a for sale by owner. And it was my first for sale by owner that I was going to show. So I contact the owner and I'm like, hey, whatever, I want to show this place. And he said, okay, there's tenants living there and they're going to have to let you in. And so here's the tenant's number, text this person and they can let you in. Okay, no problem. So I did. I get there and the woman says to me, well, you can't go in the basement. And I was like,
Why?
Okay.
Red flag.
Yeah, right. I know, red flag. So sometimes people like leave their pets in the basement for a showing or something because they don't want them to freak out. So I was like, oh, okay, that's fine. What's going on? She said, well, there's 3 inches of raw sewage in the basement.
Oh.
No. And they were living there?
And they were living there.
Wow.
And so I was like, oh, does your landlord know? And she said, yes, he knows. And I was like, and he's not doing anything about it? And she said, well, it's COVID. We haven't been able to pay rent. So he won't fix it unless we pay rent, which was just like a very sad and terrible situation and very uncomfortable for all of us involved. I actually ended up like trying to give them some advice about something that they could possibly do to get that fixed, given that it's such a crazy health hazard.
Yeah.
But anytime I go into a basement now and it doesn't have 3 inches of raw sewage, I like,
Bonus.
That's a win.
Yeah.
I did good for that day.
That's crazy.
Did you end up selling that one?
No. Oh my God. No, absolutely not. It was too far gone. And it's right up the street from where I live actually. So I often think about it. But
I wonder if it never got fixed right away or.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
What
I
a
know.
crappy situation to be in.
Literally.
Crappy. Really crappy.
Pun intended.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what kind of goals do you got coming up for 2022?
So 2021, I did 10 transactions and just almost $3 million in gross sales, which I feel pretty good about.
Yeah.
Given, I'm a newer agent. And in 2022, I would like to do 20, I think, 20 homes, 20 sales. I don't necessarily have a number for gross sales or anything like that in mind, but ideally I'd like to do 2 closings a month. So we will see what happens there. And that's where I'm going to focus
That's awesome.
for 2022. And I think that will get me somewhere, further than where I am now.
Yeah. It sounds
That's
like
awesome.
your first year went really, really good for you too. So that's
It,
awesome.
it really did. I'm very lucky. And, it was kind of a tough start when you get thrown into real estate. I was in a new, city. I mean, I
Right.
had just moved here like 4 months prior. So I really didn't have a sphere of influence. So I had all these obstacles that I had to overcome. And somehow I just did it, and I'm just going to keep doing it until I can't. So
Nice. With all
Yeah.
the knowledge that you've learned in the last year and a half, what's one thing that you would do differently if you could start over?
I would have had more money in my savings account if I
Okay.
could have. People don't talk about it. Real estate is a great business, obviously, and it's really lucrative, and it can be really lucrative for those that do it full time. But one thing that we don't talk about is how to be a new agent. It's really difficult.
Yeah.
And another thing that we don't talk about is that you should have, I would say, at least 5,000 in savings to get you started for the first 3
Yeah.
months of being an agent. There's so
Yeah.
many startup fees, and it truly is like starting a business. So it's not something that you can really do lightly or just kind of be like, I think I'm going to
Kinda
try
do it.
this.
Do it on a
Let's
whim.
see."
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't really do that. I a little bit did that, and it's worked out, but I don't recommend it. So yeah, I would say, if anybody is listening and is thinking about becoming an agent, you should have a good amount in your savings first, just so that you're not, eating ramen every night.
Yeah, definitely. I know you got to have that backup too in case you don't get a sale right away.
I
That's
mean, you
something
might
you gotta
not,
take
and it's
in
not a big
consideration.
deal. It took me
Yeah.
a while to get my first sale, and it was really difficult. So some people, it can be a month, some people it's 6 months. So you
Mhm.
really want to make sure that you have something that you can live and be okay, because you don't want to, totally wipe yourself out by becoming an agent. I don't recommend that.
Right. I think that's where the burnout comes too.
I think
that's
so
where-
too, because you're just so, well, I mean, I lived it. You're just so desperate to make a sale and make this work. And unfortunately, people can sense that sometimes. So if you're a little less desperate and have saved, probably going to benefit you in many ways.
Yes. Before we go today, Kate, how can people get a hold of you?
Okay, yeah. So you can find me on social media. On Instagram, I am at Kate Clemons _real estate. On Facebook, you can just search my name, Kate Clemons. My last name is C. Lemons, like the fruit. You can also, those are my main forms of social media. You can also email me anytime. I don't know if you want me to share that.
Go
Yeah,
for it.
go ahead.
Okay, great. So my email is my name, Kate, Kate, @barbarabakerteam.com. And should you have any questions about becoming an agent, my team is hiring too. We're always looking for some agents that have a little bit of experience, but that would benefit from being on a team. So if anyone's listening and thinking about that, that's something to consider as well. So I'm always happy to chat real estate, always happy to chat food and music as well. So yeah.
Awesome. Hey, thanks for coming on and sharing your story with us today.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys.
Are these working? Here we go.
Oh, there we go. I think they're working. Should we tell them?
Mine keeps falling. It doesn't like my voice.
What do we got to tell them?
Subscribe.
Subscribe. What do we got to point at? Hey, I think there's a subscription button. It
might be there.
Might be right there too.
Somewhere.
Somewhere.
Find it. It's red.
Yeah. And it's
Red.
blue. It's green. I don't really know.
It's a color.
This mic isn't even attached. Did you plug these in? Well, I guess.
I wonder if they can hear us.
Yeah, I wonder if they hear us. Well, we should probably tell them if they can hear us. We should probably tell them also give us a 5-star review for listening to on Apple. That'd be cool.
5 stars,
review.
guys.
Share it with everybody they can think of.
We won't take 4 stars.
I mean, Taylor, I don't even think these are on. I mean,
I don't think this is working.
This is not working.